So I finally did what I said I was going to do, and I rewatched Get a Robo Armageddon, and this time I actually got through the whole thing. It's pretty much the same as I remember it being, which is kind of a 6 hour boss fight. It is definitely an homage to previous iterations of Get a Robo. You get all sorts of different versions of Get a Robo. The reason I wanted to rewatch it is because I have a new one coming maybe tomorrow. Sometimes FedEx is off by a day, but this is Get a Robo Armageddon Metal Build Dragon Scale Shin Getter from Bandai. So I've had pretty good luck with the Bandai's Metal Build line, so I thought I'd give this one a try and hopefully get it tomorrow. So the thing with Get a Robo is Armageddon is there's a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, a lot of high adrenaline, and it just kind of wore me out after a while. But I did watch the whole thing, and I could definitely see myself hating the ending, but I kind of like the ending. It's an interesting ending, and the villains of the film are kind of an amorphous alien race, and they just fight him through the whole 6 hours, every single episode. So I thought I would relate this series. So anyway, do I recommend the series? If you're a real big Get a Robo fan, but I'll just say that I prefer a little slower pace. I prefer a little more fleshed out story. Would not be my first choice as a series to get. But I'm going to relate this to the figures. And so I'm not going to show all my figures because I just didn't feel like dragging them all down here. But the first one is Get a Robo. And this is, for some reason on my camera it gives a kind of a distorted look. This is the Carbotix figure. I don't know why it makes its torso look so big in this camera, but it is a really, I love this figure. It's such a cool, simple, clean figure. I couldn't remember whether all of these robots did their transforming and combining, but they all do in the film. So this is a three ship combining, and it can combine into three forms, just like all the Get a Robos can do. This is kind of the original Get a Robo in the series, and then we get the mysterious Shin Get a Robo. So let me put this guy to the side. My Carbotix figure, and this is CCS Toys Shin Get a Robo, and so this figure is in most of the film, and again the Get a Robo is able to transform into three different versions. So this is one of the three versions, and there are three pilots, and they kind of switch who the pilots are throughout the series. There's kind of 6 different characters who swap around, and then we have the black Shin Get a Robo. Now this figure does not appear in the anime at all. So my assumption is that this is from the manga, because he's clearly very similar. I'm hoping that they didn't just get lazy and repurpose this figure into the black Shin Get a Robo, but there's a lot of additions in here that seem like there was forethought in there. And this is not even the only Shin Black Get a Robo I own, and both of them look very similar. And even in Big Bad Toy Store, there is another Get a Robo Armageddon with a black Shin Get a Robo. So I'm assuming that that's from the manga, because again, it does not appear in the anime. However, this one does. This is the Carbotix Black Getter, not Shin Getter, just Black Getter. And so this was one I talked about a while back. So we first get the mysterious Shin Getter piloted by Go, and then we get the even more mysterious Black Getter piloted by Ryomi, something like that. Um, I've never seen the original Get a Robo, so I don't really know all the characters. This is Go. That is Ryoma, and there's Banky. I can't remember all the names of the characters, but I think that this one and this one are the original pilots, and then the third pilot was killed before this series started. And so Dr. Sayatome, who is, I assume, from the original series, is basically the villain, sort of, but at some point he's killed well before the end. So he's gone, and the aliens just kind of are basically the final villains. But it is interesting that there are so many, and this is just a fraction of the Armageddon figures that exist. So here's another one. This is by 3-0. So these two are by 3-0. And then we have the CCS Toys, and we also have Sky X, which I had done a video on. And this is another interesting looking figure that I may be thinking about getting. So this series has produced a ton of high-end figures. Really shocking. So I'm wondering if this is extremely popular in Japan. I think it came out in 1998, I want to say. And it really feels like that kind of 1990s super high adrenaline, high emotion anime that I kind of find a bit exhausting. And so I watched one episode a day. That's how I got through it, because it kind of tires me out. But I'm glad I watched it, and it's good, and it's produced a lot of interesting and cool figures, particularly this. Wow, this one, I do love this one. But I'm definitely looking forward to getting I still haven't even pre-ordered it, but this is one I definitely need to get, which is the Carbonics Black Getter. So anyway, do I recommend it? If you love Get a Robo, but there's a lot I would get before this one. So anyway, that's Get a Robo Armageddon, the complete series.